All right, so how are we doing today? So today, let's go ahead and talk about ways not to waste your money. And one of the biggest things that you can do is utilize your senior discounts, right? Yeah, everybody is taking AARP. When you go to like Perkins, they have 50 and over menus and things like that. Go ahead and utilize those to your advantage, because it's going to save you some money, and you'd be surprised, 10-15% on items does help. So go ahead, use those, and don't let those savings get away from you, okay? The second one is buying unneeded insurance. So do you really need life insurance at this stage in life? Yeah, that's a personal decision, but myself, I'm going to go ahead and just self-insure. And I don't have any life insurance after I left my employer. But, and there are other types of insurance. Do you need replacement insurance on your house? Where we live, actually, I kind of do, because the price is escalated enough that I think I really do need replacement insurance. But that's something you should take a look at from time to time. And your auto insurance is something that you should take a look at from time to time and see if there's some savings there. See if you can get those senior discounts. They might add up. You never know. All right, and the third one is supporting your grown children. And I know we all want to help out. I'm as guilty as anybody, but you know what? They are your adult children now. And you know what? They give loans for homes, for autos, for personal, but the loan they won't give you? You can't get a loan for your retirement. Can't do it. So think hard and long before you go ahead and invest. And that sounds bad, but think long and hard before you donate to your children and give them that loan, give them that, funding that they need. And maybe it would be better for you to just help them out a little bit with co-signing and things like that than it would be to outright give them cash, because you can't take a loan out on your retirement. Now, if you can afford it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if it's going to put you in a money crunch down the road, you might seriously think about it. And here's another one. Do you really need that 3,000 square foot house? You might not. It might be time to go ahead and downsize and buy it outright and get rid of that mortgage, get rid of that mortgage payment. That's money you can just use to travel or do whatever you want to with. So take a look at your house. Maybe you have too much and you could go ahead and downsize. Of course, you want to play the market right. You don't want to get into a seller's market and end up, getting a bad deal. But if you time the market right, you could potentially go ahead and move from that bigger house into a smaller house, has less property taxes, less insurance, and save yourself some money. And it might also be a good way to, keep up with your housekeeping a little bit, having a little smaller house. But anyway, take a look at that. All right, and number 6, this one sounds a little cheesy, but your prescriptions, sometimes those name brands can cost you a lot of money. I know my wife has one particular medication that would be, pretty much out of our reach, or it would put us, over our monthly budget if she were to have to pay for that in the regular form. But she gets a discount card and a generic that she's taken, and it's pretty reasonable. So take a look at your medications and see if you can go ahead and get on a generic, or at least try the generic and see if it affects you the same way. I know there are some medications that the name brand does do better because of that particular formula. But all of mine are generic and they seem to work for me just fine. So take a look at that, see if you can save some money there. It could help out. And here's one that's really hard, but once you donate to a charity, what happens? You get all the emails from the other charities, you get telephone contacts, and you have people calling you for donations on just about everything. And I'm not saying that being charitable is not good, because it is. I think, that giving to charities is a very, very good thing. But you got to be careful that you don't end up giving all your money away to charities, because $20 a month here and $20 a month there, and $100 a year here, and things like that are gonna add up over time. So be careful how many charities that you're giving to, and be selective. Pick out the ones that really mean something to you. Okay, I think for me, that's the thing, is it needs to be something that I believe in. And I think you'll thank yourself in the end that, you're giving it to the right charity and giving the right amount to the right charity. And this one is very easy to get caught up in, is investing too conservatively. Yeah, you can't just stick your money in a mattress. You can't do it. If your money's not working for you, it's not going to beat inflation, and you're going to end up double losing on it. So, it's not enough to just save your money. You got to invest your money. And if you invest too conservatively, it's not going to keep up with inflation. And it may keep up with it short term, but it's not going to keep up with it long term. In other words, if you get something, and if you put your money in the bank, like right now, you could get, over 5% on a CD, which I don't think they're that much anymore. But at one point during 2024, you could get 5% on a CD. Hey, that was great. But you know what? That's over time, that's going to dwindle down, and you're going to keep buying those CDs, and next thing you know, they're going to be under 1%, and you're not going to be making any money. So you got to pay attention to your investments and make sure they're not getting too conservative for you. Purchasing only qualified dividend stocks, and having just qualified dividend stocks, if you don't pay attention to it, that could also lead to getting too conservative over the years, because those change. So make sure that the money that you invest, that you're keeping up with the trends, and make sure you're not too conservative. Nothing wrong with being conservative. I'm in a 60-40 balance, but you just don't get too conservative where you're in a 40-60 or something like that. If you can afford it. If you can afford it, that's great. But if you can't afford it, like myself, my money has to make some money, over time. So pay attention to that. And if you've gotten anything out of this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and watch this video next.